Listen. The independent film Loose doesn't come out until next month, along with a bunch of other insanely good films that we covered in this video right here, but in the meantime, everyone's been talking about movies like it's the 90s. Disney's decided to take the phrase "the circle of life" a little too seriously and is bringing back every single one of their animations, including their biggest one of all time. We're talking about a cartoon that almost made $1 billion in the 90s, and I think this is without inflation. It included Oscar winners, so I'm gonna call it an animation. It's considered to have the most home video sales of all time. Like, you can own this bad boy in any format from 4K, Blu-ray, DVD, VHS, Laserdisc. The only thing this didn't come out for was the PSP. They then had follow-ups, a Broadway play that's still building up its streak of being one of the longest running shows internationally and has made $8 billion. We haven't even touched on the merch, which is always like 10 times that. So it's safe to say that it's a cultural phenomenon with parents still lifting up their kids like this. And even though it's this timeless, classic story that's been revived so many times, this is the one that's got people riled up. The fully live action, yet at the same time completely CGI remake that was shot for shot.
There's a lot of things that look good in 2D animation, but when you try to make it look real, you have to use tricks to get around it.
You don't say. Did it look like a National Geographic ad with a famous Disney cover band over it? Yes, but I thought it was hysterical. There's a whole conversation happening right now about people shaming other people for watching a movie, which is dumb to me. I thought the movie was goofy, but I don't think it's lazy. They created this brand new technology to be able to actually have the camera shoot within that world.
At one point, they put some sort of virtual reality helmet on me. I still don't know why.
At one point.
I have no idea why.
Disney has your brain now.
To keep the human touch, the photography wasn't computerized. The cameraman operated a real camera linked to the virtual reality program.
But at the same time, it's one of those things where it's so realistic and they achieved it. Then they wanted them to do things that weren't realistic. It's like they created the best pie for a competition and then submitted it to a chili competition instead. Like, what? Yeah, it doesn't have the same emotions as the 1994 one, but hey, that's why I got the 1994 one. So the best way to describe this new one and what it does right, how it goofed, and pretty much just the story of The Lion King is by using the original as a guideline.
But let me explain.
So the big pitch for the original Lion King back in the day was that it was supposed to be Disney's first original story. Of course, there are some excellent videos that go into interesting connections that are too close for comfort overseas that you can check out right here, but I'm just laughing at calling it original and then the special features for the original movie names countless influences.
Before I came aboard, it was described as Bambi in Africa with Hamlet thrown in, so Bamblet.
Something like Ben-Hur or, Moses.
Old Testament tales like Joseph or like Moses.
The idea of a character like Joseph.
We started seeing the Hamlet parallels.
Here, they're told in a way that doesn't evoke Moses when the audience sees it. Well, if Moses saw the burning bush and got wisdom from it, why can't Simba see the burning bush in the form of Mufasa, his father, and get an inspirational message from that?
In the same manner, it reminded me of the new one and how that kept being pitched as live action.
This whole movie is CGI except for one scene in the movie.
One shot.
One shot in the movie.
One shot.
You got the vegetarian.
Yeah, the vegetarian nut.
Yeah.
With a little bit of bacon.
Even crazier was that Jon Favreau, who did the Jungle Book remake, actually wanted to do the sequel to the Jungle Book. Yes, there's a sequel, and shoot the Lion King remake back to back, but Disney told him, whoa, and told him no, since they wanted all of their attention to be on the Lion King because that was the movie they had complete faith in. Ironically, the opposite was true for the animation.
Lion King was supposed to be a movie that no one cared about.
New project, it's kind of Bambi in Africa.
That is the dumbest story I've ever heard in my life. We are not gonna make that, are we?
And throughout Lion King, there were numbers of people that wanted to get off the movie and get on to Pocahontas because that was perceived as that was going to be the great movie and we were the B team.
It was the B picture. It was sort of the one that the A players weren't working on.
Further proof was that they were even going to call the animated one King of the Jungle. Like, legit, that was the name they were going for. Until they realized lions don't live in the jungle.
Then you sort of infuse that with the ragtag feeling like, okay, so what if we're the B team? We're just gonna rally and do a great job, we'll show them.
One of the things that people don't know about The Lion King was that it was not actually anticipated to be a musical. It was in a sense like a National Geographic special that would be animated.
Clearly, that's what they were going for with the 2019 version. But can you imagine if we didn't have Hans in his little leather jacket humming the music for the original? If we didn't have Elton? Without this man who brought us the most iconic lyrics most of us sing but don't even know what it means? Man, I don't care if you watch the original, Broadway, or the new one, they always kill it with the title opening. Every time. Now, I felt people always resonated with the movie in two ways, either with the sibling rivalry or the side dealing with fathers and responsibilities. On the sibling side, this thing is probably up there with Cain and Abel. The character of Mufasa is so iconic, they couldn't even recast the voice for the remake. They just kept James Earl Jones.
Yeah, he wanted to know as a director if I had any, I didn't know what to say, you know, I was like, no, just say it, because even just you talking to me about it sounds like Mufasa.
I mean, they even got him back for Darth Vader.
This just goes to prove the old show business adage, everyone is replaceable except James Earl Jones.
Scar did get replaced, and it's not that Chiwetel Ejiofor is a bad actor, because he's not, he's great, I love that man. They even added some more backstory to his version of Scar, but the original Scar was drawn based off Jeremy Irons, and Jeremy Irons had just won the Academy Award, and while people thought he was joining a stupid cartoon movie, this man took it so seriously, he went all out that he even blew his voice while they were recording this song. Between the original Broadway and the computer animated live action one, we've seen differences that were actually scrapped ideas that they had since the beginning, so it's cool that the more interpretations of this movie or this story that we have, those get to sneak in, like Scar having actually fought Mufasa for the crown, M'Baku style, before losing, before the movie even starts. Sometimes Nala runs away to hunt her food and find Simba, other times it's because Scar tried making a pass at her and she dipped. In some versions, Scar is flamboyant and over the top to the point of literally invoking Nazi Germany with his squad. Other times he's so stone cold, no emotion. From any of them. He's such an outcast that he sides with the hyenas instead of his own pack. And just like with Irons, they gave Whoopi's hyena dreads. Cheech got his eyebrows. Jim Cummings, who is a legendary voice actor, voiced the third one, doesn't even say a word, yet he clearly inspired a list of upcoming animated characters. And since he's a voice legend, he was actually the one who helped with Scar's lines after Irons blew out his voice. In the new one, it's literally Key and Eric Andre screwing around.
Would you two cubs like to stay for dinner? Yeah. Great idea.
In every incarnation, that sibling rivalry tenses up to the point of Scar pulling this.
Long live the king.
It's the most iconic scene in the movie. Second to Hakuna Matata. Third to Circle of Life. Well, there's a lot of iconic shots in this movie, but this one in particular took 3 years to animate. A 2.5 minute stampede took 3 years. The Mufasa v Scar interaction in the new one is goofy as hell whenever they have the lions talking, but for anyone who saw it in true IMAX, not that widescreen, but the format where it opened up all the way to the top and the bottom, yeah, that blew me away. I know we're supposed to be boycotting this movie as if they're gonna stop production on Mulan or something, but I swore it looked like I was at Disney riding the Soarin' ride. I thought there was an actual wildebeest in the theater getting to his seat. That said, to this day, this scene is dark, you know? In 1994, parents were more upset than parents were with Bambi, thinking it was going to traumatize their children who couldn't grasp the circle of life. And now we have all our heroes dying in front of us that we've known for a decade. Man, I only knew Mufasa for 20 minutes. But while one is a tale of sibling rivalry set in revenge, Simba's is that of a prodigal son learning his purpose and responsibilities.
Ow! Jeez, what was that for? It doesn't matter. It's in the past. Yeah, but it still hurts. Oh, yes, the past can hurt. But the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it. Ah! You see? So what are you going to do?
They talk about how there's a guilt in Simba with all of his daddy issues. You know, there's that legend he never lived up to. The guilt of feeling like he died and it was his fault. And at first I was like, yeah, but Simba was kind of like a brat.
You can't do anything to me.
Technically they can. We are on their land.
But Zazu, you told me they're nothing but slobbering, mangy, stupid poachers.
Hey, did we order this dinner to go?
No. Why? 'Cause there it goes!
Honestly, this kid is so annoying when you first see the movie. It felt like his nepotism was never going to leave him satisfied.
And this'll all be mine?
Everything.
Everything the light touches. What about that shadowy place?
Sheesh, like 10,000 square feet, not enough? Later on, he gets reminded that he's got the right to be the king and even just pulls a Jon Snow.
He's not the king.
Are you?
No.
Simba?
No, I'm not the king. Maybe I was gonna be, but that was a long time ago.
I don't want it.
That said, I love how the story approaches him as being lost, you know, and that's the beauty of it, that he still has the courage of his father in him. It just took this prodigal approach to get there, but being a leader was always in him. I mean, early on, we see Simba go back for his girl. Nala, from that day forward, was devoted to him. Something the new movie cuts out for some reason. But having Simba feel responsible for his dad's death, as orchestrated by his uncle, is nasty. This is like the original Hereditary. They straight up, after the stampede, leave Simba there with his dead father for what feels like hours. He's sleeping underneath his dead dad's corpse when his uncle appears from behind him and blames it on him. Oh, you thought Kylo had a bad uncle? Scar could have easily let the hyenas kill Simba. But nah, he wanted Simba to die knowing that he was responsible for his father's death. The manipulation. Cold as can be.
And it's very simple. It's my point of view, because my dad dropped dead when I was 6, and I had nobody to talk to about it. So it's a very personal sort of thing.
I lost my dad while making this, so like I came back and redid some of the lines after that happened, because I was like, oh, I get it more, you know. So like it felt, it was very personal thing. So it felt really good to be able to do that.
That makes it deeper for me. Pause. Simba obviously gets away and gets found by Timon and Pumbaa, who, no lie, I thought Jontron was like Nathan Lane's brother or something, because he sounded so much like Timon, and I'm glad I'm not the only one who saw that.
Fool me once, I'm mad. Fool me twice, how could you? Fool me 3 times, you're officially that guy, okay? You know one.
However, imagine telling your friend who you just met, right? No worries. After their father's brutal death, and they just sing along to it.
It's our problem-free philosophy.
He then grows up with these strangers and has a rough time with puberty. And I'll actually give the new one credit for making a joke about them singing the song for years since they went through a montage. I also love how it's technically a frat song. These guys are singing the song butt-ass naked doing nothing. It's Saturday every day for the boys. They're staring at the stars with the boys. They are complete stoners, and that's practically confirmed in the new one. And here's the thing, I don't think Billy and Seth are bad in the new one. They just, they don't hold a candle to the originals. And that's maybe because I can't take some of the stuff seriously. Does this not scare anyone? This was the point where I just completely checked out. I caught these at the store, and I don't know who would be buying this for their child. They look like Charlie's taxidermy dolls made out of dead animals from Hereditary. Every time they talk, it looked like cats and dogs. I thought we were in the same universe as Mr. Ed. Anytime they had them repeat the old lines, it just felt like karaoke for me, but I did love whenever they ad-libbed.
That's my background, whether it was Elf or Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr. I've always loved improvisation, things that could bring a little bit of life to it, and I love to spend all that time meticulously going through every daily. We actually acted it out in like a rehearsal theater space and recorded their voices, so that what you're seeing is a much more natural improvisational
They're moving
performance.
around, they're not standing right in front of a microphone.
Right.
Some were great, like the Be Our Guest bit, but then they took the fun fact of Pumbaa being the first cartoon to ever fart in a movie, and they just released a whoopee cushion with him here. But honestly, if you've never heard of Billy Eichner before, watch him in these two things, because he actually really is hilarious.
Sweetie, don't babe me, okay? It's La La Land, a lot of Oscar buzz. Could be Emma Stone's year.
4 kids, I'm not watching TV, but...
Sweetheart, okay, it has Oscar buzz, and I saw Emma Stone do a Q&A, all right?
I don't know who you're trying to sass for a camera, but you got the right bitch to put you in a wrong motherfucking place.
Moving on to one of the biggest scenes, I get reminded of how like Tony got to talk to his father one last time to get the encouragement he needed. There's that scene in Black Panther where he does it also. Also, check out Couch Tomato, who proves that Black Panther and Lion King are the same movie. But Lion King is the OG of this. And I love how the special features talk about how he wasn't actually speaking to his father. It's supposed to allude how they're just always there for us no matter what. You can believe in it or you can not believe in the afterlife, but your ancestors have always left a legacy. And so when Simba sees his uncle pimp smack his mom, he pulls up and whoops him. Scar gives the cliche villain speech when he has the upper hand, not realizing he should talk less, smile more. And so Simba gets the strength of 1,000 mothers after he hears Scar's confession. That baboon comes in fighting like Danny from the Wild Thornberries. Scar chickens out and throws the hyenas under the bus like the punk he is as we get this final Rocky fight, and Simba Dragos him.
If he dies, he dies.
Imagine your acquaintances, you know, people you were friends with, eating you.
But she wants to eat him, and everybody's okay with this? Did I miss something?
Exactly, Timon. Overall, this is a timeless story. I personally don't understand shaming families for seeing a movie that's based off of a classic. It's not like y'all watch the re-releases. Your VHS won't disappear regardless of how much you hate the new one. It's funny how many people don't actually know how the industry works. They've never actually talked to a producer. They're not gonna stop production on Mulan or The Little Mermaid just because you know how to spell A24. Yeah, you do vote with your money, but Disney has made these remakes inevitable. Like, he stated this way back when that he wanted these. So instead of overly tweeting your hate for a big blockbuster that ironically you're giving more attention to, talk more about those indies. Maybe use that major blockbuster that has a lot of eyes on it to promote other films people don't have eyes on. Know that studios make multiple deal plans, and that includes blockbusters and indies. Those same people funding the blockbusters that they get a profit out of, sometimes that's what helps fund those indies that make no money at the box office. It's not lazy to produce thousands of jobs, of people have claimed. Sure, they use a beloved franchise as a demo reel for this technology, and I get why people hate it, I really do. But in 5 years' time, when that technology that was only possible to be funded through this major studio, when that ends up creating something truly magical, then it'll be worth it. So it's kind of like the people who thought talkies were going to be the end of cinema. Oh my god. It's like the people who thought there were too many westerns back in the day and they were never going to go away. The people who complain about 3 superhero movies in a year as if 1,500 other films don't come out. Sometimes it just makes me question if some of these people have actually seen the movie. Because you don't have to like everything that comes out, but it's almost like you guys have forgotten that that's the circle of life in Hollywood. That said, I'm gonna be real pissed if they do a live action Mickey Mouse. Thank you guys for checking out this video. I'm curious to know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Are you ruining cinema? Are you a person who only puts 10 movies over on Letterboxd, but then one movie comes out and you think you're superior than everyone else? Let me know down below in the comment section. Did you hate the movie? That's fine. Did you like the movie? You went to go see it with your family? That's also good. Again, to me, the original's a combo price, easily. This new one, I caught it in theaters, and I do like what they do with the technology. But holy smokes, is it goofy. Some people went in there like actually mad it wasn't like the original. I was like, have we ever gone to a remake expecting the original? That's why we have the original. Yo, I went into this one with the intention of laughing my butt off. I'll just say that, and I thought it was hilarious. That said, some interesting notes that I have here, as I like to do in the outros. Do you know the original is just female lions? I don't know how that works. They also didn't put whiskers. Like, they couldn't afford to do that. It was too much. So it's practically like PNG whiskers on all of the male lions. And then the female lions didn't even get any. Zuzu doesn't even talk during a scene, which I thought was hilarious. I didn't know if they were going to animate the mouth or not for the new one. But there is a cool parallel Alina noted. Everyone knows that the sex Easter egg that really was supposed to be a shout out to the sound effects, the special effects crew. Alina noted that in the new one, they have a bunch of animals all form into letters, so maybe that's a funny callback. But again, it's just one of those movies where I get its purpose, even if it doesn't deliver the emotion that the original had. And, you know, some scenes draw me out, others might have well stayed as a cartoon to me, but yeah, that's just my opinion, and I'm curious to know your thoughts down below, what movies you are interested for. Again, check out Loose, check out Peanut Butter Falcon, check out The Farewell, and anything else out there that's in your theater, because there are a lot of good movies out there, and I don't understand why people are always complaining about blockbusters and like missing the other movies that are already there, even on Netflix. You ain't gotta leave your house. But other than that, I'm curious to know your thoughts. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. before they release a live-action Brother Bear.